Miami's neighborhoods each tell their own story. And today, we're going to explore 6 of the best places to live in the Magic City. From Coconut Grove's laid-back charm to Coral Gables' timeless elegance. I'm going to show you where to find the Miami lifestyle that you've been dreaming of. In this video, we're going to dive into 6 of Miami's iconic neighborhoods. Next, we're going to discover their unique lifestyles, amenities, and real estate opportunities. And finally, we're going to find the perfect neighborhood for your lifestyle and budget. And if you're interested in a home that's just 15 minutes at most away from all of these attractions and more, check out the video on my new listing right here in the city of Miami. Hi, I'm Hugo, your Miami real estate expert, born and raised in this incredible city. And don't forget to book a consultation with me using the link in the description below. So we're going to start off with my personal favorite, for obvious reasons, and that's Coconut Grove. Coconut Grove, aka as we locals like to call it, the Grove, the Groovy Grove. And as of 2025, the city decided their new slogan was going to be Miami's oldest gem. And the reason why is quite simple. It's because Coconut Grove, it's Miami's oldest neighborhood. It was a neighborhood here in Miami since 1873, and that's before Miami was even a city. The biggest, most exciting thing I'd say is that the neighborhood has come out of what I would call a hibernation. Back in the 90s, 80s, even into the early 2000s, Coconut Grove was the place to be. Things started to kind of slow down, some things started to change, but all that changed just a couple of years ago when they redeveloped Coco Walk. Coco Walk is like the heart of Coconut Grove. It was redeveloped, renovated, and brought up to date, and now it's the place to be in Coconut Grove. Another thing Coconut Grove has going for it is its lush streets, large banyan trees and a lot of old Florida trees that are just absolutely beautiful, and it gives it a warm, very inviting sort of feel. Several waterfront parks, proximity to the water, all these things make it a very desirable place to be. It's a great place for families and for professionals who want a mix of modern but also some historic charm. Just to compare and contrast, Coconut Grove has about 20% of its homes being condos versus an area like Brickell where 95% of the homes are condos. It's very close to the urban city living of Brickell, but with a much more relaxed pace. You're talking about a distance of less than 2 miles. It's also known for its incredibly excellent schools and a family-friendly atmosphere. Real estate options here include historic homes, luxury waterfront mansions, and modern condos. And next up is South Miami, which is also known as SoMi and is the city of pleasant living. South Miami is an incredible place because it's going through what Coconut Grove had been going through just a few years ago due to the Sunset Place Mall being in a sort of hibernation, much like Coco Walk was just a few years ago. It's recently been sold and some zoning changes have been made to redevelop the mall, and this is going to completely change the area. The wonderful thing about South Miami is that there's a lot of land. The homes have much larger square footage for the lots, and so if you wanted a home where you had a nice long gate to get in, you wanted larger square footage, more of a footprint, this is the perfect place. And because it's still in more of a hibernation mode, it's a lot less expensive than Coconut Grove, for example, which is right next door. It's about as far south as I would like to live because it still remains very connected to the main city and what's going on, while still being separated enough to have that peace and quiet. In my opinion, it's the perfect balance of price, value, and compromise. Which brings me to the next neighborhood I want to talk about, and that is Coral Gables, also known as the City Beautiful, or as we locals call it, the Gables. The thing that really sets Coral Gables apart is the Mediterranean architecture and style. The city does not allow modern new style construction. They are very, very proud of the way that the city looks, and they maintain a certain aesthetic. If you're someone who wants to come in and break the mold, this is not the place for you. The types of renovations that you can do, the colors of your home, all of these things have to be approved and double and triple approved by the city of Coral Gables. Preservation is the most important thing to the city council and the residents, which speaks for itself when you're walking in and driving through the Gables. And if you do make it into the Gables, make sure that you drive and walk down Miracle Mile and check out the Biltmore Hotel. Village of Merrick Park is also a great mall, open air, very nice, right in the middle of Coral Gables and Coconut Grove. And if you're a car aficionado, I highly recommend that you at least drive by the collection. I fall in love daily every time I drive by it. On your way through Coral Gables, if you continue east, you will run into Little Havana. Little Havana, I would say, is the cultural heart of Miami. Deep Cuban influence here. We've got Calle Ocho, which is 8th Street, but in Spanish, Domino Park, and it's incredibly affordable compared to nearby neighborhoods. It's just outside of Brickell and just outside of the Gables. Incredibly central, but without the Gables prices or Brickell prices. They've been calling it Brickell West actually as of late, so if you're interested in getting a deal in Miami, you need to contact me so that we can move quickly. Over the last few years, due to the spillover of Brickell across the I-95, which divides Little Havana from Brickell, the prices have been slowly increasing. So this is really one of the last home fronts where you can get an incredible deal, be in a very central area, and not have to pay millions of dollars. You can still find some incredible opportunities if you find an agent who's versed in this area and knows what to look for. Now, if you do make it to Little Havana, I highly recommend that you stop at Ball and Chain and listen to some of the live music, watch some of the salsa dancing, maybe even learn a little salsa dancing. You will not regret it. And right across the street, you can pick up a Guayabera shirt at the shop, which is a typical Cuban shirt, and make sure you go in and tell Big Papa that Hugo sent you. For nightlife, you can check out El Santo, which is a hidden speakeasy club right across the street next to the taqueria, Key Biscayne. This is a tropical island just minutes from downtown and Brickell, known for its tranquility, luxury homes, and expansive beaches. Expansive, I didn't say expensive, although if the shoe fits. It's an island paradise with the most amazing views of Brickell. It's its own little island and it's separated from Miami just by one bridge, which means one way on and one way off, unless of course you have a helicopter or a boat. So that's definitely something to keep in mind, especially when there are some of the larger events. We do have the boat show annually, and I can tell you, if you live there, you better plan ahead. It can become quite congested, and it's not uncommon for it to take an hour or more to get on or off the island when these events are happening. Although I will say that the moment that you cross the bridge, you feel like you've completely disconnected from the city of Miami and you're off in your own little island paradise. The kids here have Village Green Park as their own personal playground. In the cooler months, you can expect to see movies being played on the soccer field, and it's a great time for the entire family. And if you do get a chance to check out Key Biscayne, I recommend you go to the very, very end of the street and you will run into Bill Baggs Park. Beautiful little beach park, and there's a historic lighthouse there, which is very, very nice. Highly recommend you check it out. And the lighthouse has an incredibly beautiful scenic view of it with Brickell in the background. Absolutely breathtaking. Now, if you make it over there and you're hungry, I recommend that on your way out, you stop at the Rusty Pelican. The Rusty Pelican is a Miami legend. It's been here for over 40 years, and this is the absolute best view of any restaurant in Miami, hands down. And I would challenge anyone to suggest a restaurant with a better view here in Miami. In fact, if you know of one, please leave it in the comments. And finally, I want to talk about Brickell. Brickell is our financial district, and it's a mini Manhattan, if you will. Full of skyscrapers. This is where the majority of the condos are. Large companies are here. Google has offices here. Santander Bank. A lot of opportunity and a lot of investment is here. Ken Griffin has recently relocated Citadel from Chicago right here to Brickell, and will be putting up a super tall tower with over 1.6 million square feet of commercial space. You've got luxury high-rises, rooftop bars, and young professionals. It's located just south of downtown, and I would say it has a more refined palette over the downtown Miami feel. It's incredibly walkable. You've got Brickell City Center, which is a beautiful, also open air mall with a gorgeous climate ribbon that, from what I understand, was about $30 million to make, but it does keep things a little bit cooler underneath it. You've got the Metro Rail, the Metro Mover, and all of the public transportation on the Eastern Corridor. Very, very convenient neighborhood, and of course, the financial district, so there's a lot happening here. It's like a mini Manhattan, except with an incredibly gorgeous ocean view. And as I mentioned, Brickell City Center is a beautiful mall, very high luxury stores, as well as Mary Brickell Village would be a place to check out. And there's a wonderful little park called Allen Morris Park right in the middle of all of this. So each of these neighborhoods has something incredibly unique and special to offer. From Coconut Grove's charm to Brickell's urban energy. Which one fits your lifestyle? Let me know in the comments. If you're ready to find your perfect Miami home, book a consultation with me using the link in the description below. Check out my video on the pros and cons of living in Miami for even more insights. And if you're wondering about Wynwood, Design District, and South Beach, then you'll want to watch part 2 of this series where I'm going to break all of that down and give you the best of what Miami has to offer.